Now please do join me today on a very special treat because I'm in one of my very favourite secret locations in London. Now, have you guessed where I am yet? Because this particular doors behind me, they were the centre of celebrity, reality TV, paparazzi back in the day. Every single week there was somebody coming out of these doors that was world famous, or indeed about to become world famous, because this was the place that if you were anybody, you came here to get married. Now, anybody who's anybody has been through these doors. In fact, this particular building was the very first place where the suffragettes met. Even our brilliant former British Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, was here to do a speech. It's that popular. In fact, you'll see his plaque just now. What I love about this particular place, though, is it was the first time when I saw a picture of one of my very favourite glamorous movie stars who got married here, the one and only Diana Dors. Now, Diana Dors got married here on the 3rd of July 1951 at 4 p.m. to her Svengali, as a lot of people said, Dennis Hamilton. Now, Dennis was responsible really for creating the myth that was, of course, Diana Dors, just pre-Marilyn Monroe, if you like, a little bit like that. And apparently, just before they got married, what was interesting was that Dennis, who was known for being a little bit handy with his fists, had a bit of a kerfuffle with the registrar, simply because Diana was underage, and more importantly, the signatures required for her to get married allegedly had been forged. That really didn't bother Dennis, of course. He quickly sorted out the register, and then everything was moved on and, well, made possible. When they came out, Dennis had arranged for lots and lots of paparazzi to come around, of course, and take pictures, because he was building up the image of the wonderful Dors that we know today. Now, it's interesting to note, of course, that Diana is largely forgotten by people who are under 25, but you can't really replace the fact just how popular Diana was at that particular period. We'd come out of a very bad war, of course. She was incredibly glamorous, the Cadillac, the blonde hair, the super figure, but on top of all of that, she was a wonderful actress too, and possibly her best film in the 1950s was Yield to the Night. But a lot of people cite this place, Caxton Hall, as the real start of the phenomenon that was Diana Dors. Caxton Hall is now a redeveloped apartment and an office block, but it wasn't just a registry office favoured by celebrities. It was also the location for some fascinating political events in its time. The first meeting of the suffragettes took place in 1906, and it was often used for their rallies due to the close proximity to the Houses of Parliament, and no doubt plenty of railings. Caxton Hall is now a listed building, mainly because of its suffragette associations. Now, the problem for Diana Dors was simply this, that, well, as she came through those doors, her career, as I say, really took off. But as she pointedly pointed out, while Marilyn Monroe was making big hits like How to Marry a Millionaire and Gentlemen Prefer Blondes for 20th Century Fox over in Hollywood, she was stuck up in Manchester at Mancunian Studios alongside the, well, rather unpredictable comedian Frank Randall, filming It's a Grand Life for £1,000 a week. Not exactly small change, but Dennis Hamilton, as I say, who she married here, the Svengali, really knew how to spend Diana's money. In fact, she did seem to pick all the wrong guys, all the wrong time. Now, I had a particular association with Diana myself because I met her very briefly towards the end of her career while she was doing a diet segment for TV AM. And she was everything that you would want her to be, glamorous, fun, and of course rather cheeky. She did have something of a resurgence though when she came back to life thanks to, well, the world of pop and video, because she starred as the very glamorous fairy alongside the very gorgeous Adam from Adam and the Ants in that wonderful pop video, Prince Charming. In fact, lots of people really re-looked at her again. Diana also had a short-lived chat show for Southern TV, and it should have really taken off. I mean, it was great because she was a natural raconteur and she'd met everybody. She was friends with people like Robert Wagner, and of course that close friendship with another Hollywood legend, Rod Steiger. Let's not talk about that. Diana herself, of course, we lost way too early, but I became friends with her son, Jason. Now, Jason lived round the corner from me in West London, but sadly we lost him only a short time ago. He was a very troubled individual, but he was a nice, warm, caring person, a little bit like Diana herself, and we often would meet in Hyde Park for chats and that sort of stuff. But really, when you think about it, Diana's legacy does live on because of the many wonderful films that she made. I don't know if you sort of agree with me, but I do enjoy things like Lady Godiva and all those other things that she really just played herself with, particularly, of course, in things like The Huggets.